we're going to bring up the fabulous Linda Fostek, the crisis planner. Give her a round of applause.
I got it. Life is an amazing journey, and how we navigate its ups and downs is really our own personal responsibility. We all worry. We worry about the things we can control. We worry about the things we can't. We worry about our families, our children, our parents, our friends, and ourselves. We worry about money. We worry about our health. We worry about things we can't control in the world and the things we see in the dark around every corner. What are you worried about right now? This minute, what are you thinking about that's taking up all this energy out of you? Our worries can kill us, make us sick, and make us lose sleep. So can the wolves, but that's okay. I worried about being alone in the world. I had a disabled husband with multiple medical issues. We didn't have any children, and he was my world. I was afraid that I wouldn't know what to do or how to go on without him. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't prepared. I worried because the number one fear that every one of us has is the fear of being alone. On May 31st, my sweet, loving, gentle giant transitioned from this world to the next. He did so on his own terms. Both of us at peace, without fear, and without worry. So how did I get off the worry-go-round? Shh, it's a big secret. It's a secret I'm going to share with you today. It's a secret that most of us know intuitively, yet we fail to follow what we know we need to do. The secret is having a life plan that will not only prepare you for whatever life gives you, whatever disaster befalls you, and it allows you to put your worries on ice, and I'll explain that term a little bit later, and find the peace of mind that you truly deserve. Finding that peace. So, what is a life plan? You know, we talk about what is a life plan? You know, from my perspective, my father was always a planner and a solution provider. He was an engineer, okay? And when he turned 70, he actually saw so many of his friends losing a spouse and the chaos that ensued. These are people who had been married for 50 or 60 years. The husband had never run the washing machine. The wife had never written a check. And the chaos only made the pain of their loss worse. So, being a solution-oriented guy, he wrote a home operations manual. And it was a step-by-step instruction manual about how to run the home, but it also organized all of your important papers in one place. Unfortunately, it was written like an engineer, and it looked like something an engineer put together. And certainly, without a marketing plan, it ended up in a box on the shelf. I still have 250 copies. All right? It wasn't until 23 years later that I was sitting at an event with Kevin Harrington, one of the original sharks from Shark Tank. And somebody asked him how he chooses from the 20,000 products he gets presented every year, the 20 or 30 products he's going to put his brand on as seen on TV. And his answer was so simple. was like, if I see something that fills a need, I feel compelled to bring it to the marketplace. It was like a light bulb went on over my head. And it was in that moment I knew my father's goal of creating a plan was going to be my destiny. It was in that moment the crisis planner was born. Now I'm going to make it really easy for you to create your disaster plan. And, it's about life planning, being prepared for everything from job loss to disability, illness, death, Mother Nature's wonderful events, floods, wildfires, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Many of us have experienced some of these things. But everything you do for one is the same information you need for the others. So 3 easy steps. The first step is recognize you need a plan. Most of us will go through life saying, I don't need to plan anything. I'll deal with it when it happens, but that's not going to give you the peace that you need. So recognize you need a plan. I worked with John. He was 35. His wife died suddenly. She handled all the finances online, and he didn't even have the password to the computer. Then there was Mary. Her mother had passed away. She needed the money in her mother's account to bury her. And all she could do was cry when the banker said no. Their grief was compounded by the chaos that not having a plan created. So knowing you need a plan and the time to plan is now is the number one step in this process. The next is just simply go through the process of 8 different stops along a very good road map that I've actually created and everybody can get a free copy of. There's some things that are obvious, like maybe what you want for your funeral. There's some things that may not be as obvious, like who may have a legal claim on your estate. But if you go through these steps, it'll really help. And I'm sure there's a lot of you sitting there right now thinking, I got this already. I got life insurance and disability insurance through my job. Do you know how much you have? What would happen if you went on disability at half pay? How long could your family survive? What if you died? What if you lost that job? So it's really important to go through this process. The third and final step is, to me, also equally as important as the first. And that's bringing all this information together. Could you get your hands on all your important documents in 5 minutes if you heard the siren go off for a tornado? Probably not, unless you have them in a bag that's ready to go at any time. So my And Now What book helps you put that together in one place. The second part of this is communication. Tell your family what you want. Tell them where to find your ICE file, which is your in case of emergency file. Tell them what your desires are. Don't make them guess. I'll tell you one final and sad story. A family had put their father in a nursing home after they had exhausted all his money. They had to turn over the house he had lived in his entire life to Medicaid in order to cover the $12,000 a month nursing home bill. He died only a couple months later, at which point the family now has to clean out the house. And there they found it, safely tucked in a bottom drawer in his bedroom, a long-term care policy that could have not only saved the house, but all of the money they had spent for his care. So communication is key. Make sure your family knows where to find your important stuff, because we don't know what we don't know. By now you know that planning is that important. It will give you that peace of mind that you deserve. Don't be a victim of a Superstorm Sandy, where you're stuck in the house in the balcony and the water's 8 feet high on your first floor and they're not coming for you because they told you they weren't. Don't be John. Get that important computer information written down. Don't let what happened to Mary. Make sure you get a second signatory on an account so that you can access it. And certainly make sure if you have something in place that's going to protect your assets and take care of you, that your family knows that it's available. because without that, they don't know what to do. You know, it is through being prepared for this kind of disaster that has allowed me to move forward with my life since my husband passed away. It has allowed me to be at peace. And it truly has allowed me to know that I'm going to be more than okay. I'm not only going to survive, but I'm going to thrive through all of this. And you deserve the same thing. Every single one of you deserves that wonderful peace of mind. Do you feel it? Do you want it? I know I do, and I want it for each of you. And that's what the Crisis Planner provides. I provide you solutions and systems to organize all that important information, an understanding of what you don't know, and those are the things that can hurt you the most. And I'm there to help you through that. So isn't it time that you got off the worry-go-round?
Woo! Hello, wake-up call. Okay. So you know you want to go to thecrisisplanner.com so you can get the ICE in case of emergency file checklist, the disaster kit checklist, and the exclusive Crisis Planner roadmap. So that's there for